Welcome to the Citywealth Live Sessions. Today I'm delighted to introduce Marina Cristiani, and she is Senior Director and Head of New York at JTC. So welcome, Marina. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Great. So give us a download on you and JTC, and then what you get up to day to day, so the viewers know a bit about you.
Well, I'm originally from Argentina. I'm an attorney. I graduated, more than 20 years ago. And right out of school, I was hired by Citgo, a trust company, to work in the BVI. So I worked in the British Virgin Islands for about 4 years. And that was my introduction to the fiduciary business and the industry. It was a fantastic experience. I learned a lot more on the, let's say, back office operations of what the, trust and trust world means. I was back then in charge of, taking care of administration of companies for Latin American families. So that was how I got into all this. And then the company transferred me to New York in 2004. And I've been in New York since, always dedicated to private clients, services. I've been part of a private client group for Citgo for almost 16 years. And then took over a different type of challenge with a smaller Swiss trust company that hired me to open an office in New York. So that was also a very interesting experience, coming from a big infrastructure, big company, and then starting something from scratch. But also it was really focused on private client services. Again, the fact that I'm from Argentina and I speak Spanish, my work has always somehow navigated towards Latin America, and it has been a very good experience. In 2019, that's when JTC approached me, and I had to really make a decision in terms of where would I want it to be in terms of my career path. And I think it was just the perfect timing, because at that time, JTC showed me what their plans were for their development of their business here in the US. And particularly what really caught my attention was their plans in terms of development of a specific line of business towards family offices. And over the years, I have seen that, evolve. The concept of family office, perhaps in the US, is very much developed, but in Latin America, is something that, it's taking a little longer. And when I saw the plans, I thought to myself, this is exactly where I think the industry is going. It's a lot more than just providing a service. It's becoming a trusted advisor for the families, becoming someone that the client knows that can reach out and can guide them through the different aspects of a specific challenge. Let's say if one of the family members wants to move to a different location, relocation services, if the family sells the business, all the things that come around that event. It goes beyond the actual business. It goes beyond just the wealth planning for the particular wealth. It affects the family, and it creates opportunities for proper planning to help them do and get where they want to be. So I got really excited about that, and I accepted the position in September 2019. And then COVID hit. I'm absolutely convinced that I made the right choice in joining JTC. The part that I really like the most of the company is their somehow entrepreneurial spirit, if you want. It's a company where, if you see an opportunity, you can build around that opportunity. So for people like myself, I'm very curious. I've always been in a business development capacity, at least since 2004, right? So I'm someone that is always out there meeting people that are related to this industry, and trying to understand what clients need. So when you find those opportunities, then you connect, right? That's what I do. That's what I love. That's what I think it makes it so much fun. I really, really like my job. And I think that's part of the reason I have been able to grow and feel rewarded as I feel.
Good. Glad to hear that. Okay, so we're going to rattle through these questions. So what's currently on your desk?
Well, nowadays we're working with several families from Latin America, from Middle East, helping them structure their wealth planning needs, setting up different holding companies, entities, trusts, helping them navigate those cross-border, challenges. Many of the families have family members here in the US, and that's where typically we end up adding value. And I would say that the governance side of things has also come to play an important role in the planning.
That's really interesting. So tell us about a difficult or challenging client matter that you've worked on.
Well, I would say the most challenging client, I don't know if I had a challenging client, to be honest with you. We did have to face challenging situations because of expectations in terms of timing. Those typically comes whenever there's a tax reform in a particular country, and then you're really dealing with very high expectations in terms of delivery. So everything needs to be done and coordinated before a specific time. Otherwise, the planning loses the purpose. So I would say I have been really blessed, Karen, really. The clients I've been worked over more than 20 years, I cannot say I had an experience where I say, oh, my God, this is so hard. No, but yes, challenging, I would say, the time, for like last minute, December 30th, trying to get everything done. That's been the most challenging part of the job.
I think that's industry-wide probably, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so describe a defining career moment or something that really meant something to you.
Oof. I would say career moment or something that really, really changed the path ahead for me was when I got introduced to this industry, which was something completely unexpected. I was, a young professional lawyer in Buenos Aires working and thinking on what was I going to do with my life professionally. It was challenging times in Argentina back then. And then I bumped into an ex-colleague on the street, literally. And he was actually interviewing to go work abroad. And, the next day he calls me up and says, actually, they're looking for other lawyers that speak English. Would you like to apply? And I'm like, I don't know. I was just married. I never thought about going work abroad. And that opportunity changed my life forever. It was like that. So I think that was something that really defined the future for me and for my family, because at the end of the day, that's what made me leave Argentina and starting to explore this life abroad.
Oh, cool. That sounds great. So how do you keep ahead with tech and all the changes that have happened?
Well, I cannot say that I'm particularly a tech person, but I've always been very curious about technology and how to apply. I'm a very perfectionist person. I always want to try to be as efficient as I can. have very high expectations on myself. And, if I can get a hold of something that can make my work more efficient, I'm going to try it. So I may not be the best one in the beginning, but I normally try. And I think that's my approach towards technology. I'm in a way, I think that we all agree, even though, the pandemic was something really, really bad. The one thing that, made it less complicated was technology. I mean, we were able to continue to deliver service almost without any type of interruption. And that's thanks to technology, both JTC as a company and myself from our clients, and the clients being, open and willing to embrace that technology. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, that sounds a good answer there. Okay, so moving on to some more fun questions. What's your favorite restaurant for a client meeting?
Avra. No doubt about it. If you come to New York, you have to go. It's a Greek restaurant. They actually have 2 locations. They just opened a third one right here in the Rockefeller Center. So I'm one of the happiest persons on earth right now. You can't miss it.
I feel like I've been to it. Yeah, it was lovely. Yeah, the food was really, really good. Okay, so a hobby or a pastime of yours?
Well, I like cooking. That's one of one of the things that I really, really enjoy. For me, going home and, yes, of course, in an everyday thing, you have to, it's more tedious, but I do really enjoy planning like a nice, gathering and family or friends, getting together and just putting everything that I have into that. I don't know. I guess it comes with the Italian roots. My father is Italian. He loves to cook. And I used to love to cook with him. So I guess that's part of the reason.
Oh, sounds good. So in the office, do you drink coffee or tea or something else?
Both. In the mornings are coffee, and I switched to tea because I don't want that much caffeine in the afternoon, but I'm always drinking something. So yeah.
I see. Good to hear. So just finishing off, so we've heard about cooking. So another word you mentioned was family.
Yes, that's super important for me. I have 4 children. I've been married for over 20 years. And it's the main reason why I guess I do everything that I do. I love my job and I love having that role, right, as a professional woman. But I also love my role as, as a mother and as a wife and as a friend. And I think that, as a sister, I'm one of 6.
Wow.
Whenever there's a challenge or whenever there's, you feel things get a little bit out of hand, that, what I do is just go back to family, right? Go back to my house, go back to my kids. And that's what helps me refocus in a way. So it's, for me, family, it's like the balance in life.
That's really cool. I remember you were talking about it earlier, but now I understand why. So that's amazing. So final word, New York.
Ooh. Well, New York is my second home. I'm originally from Argentina, from Buenos Aires, but New York really grows on you. I actually live in New Jersey. My house, is in New Jersey, but I remember the first time I visited New York, it was just for fun, for vacation with my husband. Our first daughter was only 18 months. And I would never forget, we would just walk around and we both were like, oh God, what a fantastic city. We would give anything to be able to live there. And then the next year, an opportunity opened within the company to have me transfer here. And it was a blessing. And I'm very grateful. New York really has become my home.
So I just want to say thank you so much. Today we've been talking to Marina Cristiani, and she is head of New York at JTC. So thank you so much, Marina.
Oh, thank you for having me. It was really, really nice to share all these thoughts together with you. Thank you, Karen.
Great pleasure. Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, please press the thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll let you know about other videos that are coming up. Just to remind you, today we spoke to Marina Cristiani, and she is head of New York and a senior director at JTC. She's also a Power Women Awards winner with Citywealth, and she's on our leaders list, www.leaderslist.co.uk.